everybody, our friends. We're back, your favorite podcast show of the week. It's Location Weekly. And this week it's episode number 592. We're recording on October the 24th. And as you can see, if you're watching the video, Brianna is not here this week. So we're giving her the week off because our good friend Karsten is here with me in Toronto at the moment. As we are preparing to head down to Atlanta this week for our LBMA RetailLoco conference, which we'll both be at in person. So before I go too far without that, if you still have time, it starts on Wednesday, so October 26th and 27th in Atlanta, and you can just go to RetailLoco, RetailLO.co, and you can see all the details and all the great speakers and agenda. Get your ticket, etc., all there. All right. So that being said, we're changing the format up slightly for this week's show. We have 2 stories that we want to highlight instead of 4, and then we'll be bringing you some insights from some of the speakers themselves from the conference as we engage with them and kind of get a little bit as to what they're going to be sharing and what we might be able to learn from them this week. So that's that. So with that, Karsten, welcome. Great to have you back in North American soil.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having me at the podcast again. It's always good to be here in North America. The vibe is totally different than in Europe, especially in that times we're living in right now. So it's good to be here. And also Indian summer is amazing right now. So the trees are all in this beautiful colors, red and shiny. So great. Love to be here. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So as I said, we have 2 stories we want to cover. So normally Brianna would kick us off. So I will have you start us off this week, Karsten, with your story that you're going to share.
Thank you very much. So let's talk about digital out of home and out of home in general. And a big question behind this topic is always measurement. As you know, out of home, there are a lot of people standing in front of maybe the screens or whatever you're promoting at the out of home signage. And you can guess and you can count personal-wise how many people are in front of that. But a company called BlueZoo out of the Silicon Valley show up now with a measurement tool and offers a minute accurate counting system for digital out of home advertisement. They are using a proxy based on device which is not collecting any data from your phone, but collecting the information that there is a phone, and then they can count how many people at what time are standing in front of the digital signage or the advertisement, and then they can figure out in terms of the quality and the quantity of the advertisement, and give new analytics systems out of it. So and the opportunity to measure in a good way and maybe make it more worthful to spend money or not. First of all, it's about learning how many people are in front of it, how many people may see that. So a great tool. Things like that are around since long days. So I remember conversations I think we had a couple of years ago with camera systems counting people in front of digital out of home signage or general. So great story. Let's see how it works out. And I think it's a cool way just to get an idea how effective your advertisement is.
Yeah, I think as you said, everybody still cares and is very interested in any way to measure engagement and activity around, whatever advertising we, bought or placed. So I think this is, an interesting, way to apply computer vision technology. Just last week on the show, actually the last 2 weeks on the show, Brianna and I have been talking about a couple of different computer vision solutions that grocery stores have been using for inventory management, and so now you see this applied to measurement and analytics in the out-of-home space. So I think it's, obviously there's a lot of solutions out there that use mobile cellular data to track how many devices have been near a billboard or things like that. But I think sort of actually counting in terms of video imagery that you can see near that. In some ways, it's more than just counting. It can give you a lot of other insights as to some demographic type of profiling potentially around, who's actually seeing those ads. So it makes the measurement a little bit more specific. So I think there's a lot to, what can be done with the BlueZoo technology and others like it. So.
Absolutely, yeah. So I think it's a great way, but at the end of the day, it's marketing, it's branding, and even if you count the people in front of the screen, you don't know if they are seeing the screen or the advertisement. You just know the quantity of people around there. But it's a start.
Yeah, for sure. All right, on to our second story for this week, and this one to me is very interesting. So, it's about DoorDash, and we've talked about DoorDash and Skip the Dishes and Instacart and all these types of platforms a lot over the years. But to me, this is really interesting. So they've announced a partnership with the Golden State Warriors. So this is the NBA basketball team in Northern California, and what I find fascinating about this is, and you and I were just having a conversation about food in stadiums this morning.
Yeah,
And so, like every major stadium out there, they have their concession stands and they make a lot of money from selling beer and, and hot dogs and food, to people coming to physically attend games. And what's really interesting about this is with DoorDash now, they're opening that up to beyond the concession stand. So you could be sitting at a Golden State Warriors game, and you could be ordering, a burger or something else from a local restaurant and have it brought into you to wherever you are in the stadium. And it's both. By the way, I should point out, it's both the existing concessions you can order through DoorDash and have it brought to you, as well as other participating food and beverage outlets in the local area around the stadium, outside of the stadium. So to me, this is super fascinating. This is the first I'm hearing of a stadium kind of taking this approach of bringing food from outside like that and using an aggregator platform like DoorDash to do it. I think is fascinating, and we're seeing a lot of different movements in this area as well, different types of partnerships. So this might be a first in sports this way, but I think more and more they're exploring new ways to drive revenue and new types of customers.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think there are two major points. First of all, it makes it more convenient for the guest and the people who are ordering, because if you set it up for an application, you set the payment process, all that stuff. So that's easy. Also convenient. And on the other hand, what keep me in mind is comes to mind, sorry, is a stadium is part of the community, and the community is driven by people running small and mid-sized companies, and they are around it, and so around the stadium, for example. And so why they don't participate on the success or on the crowd of the stadium? So it's kind of a connecting thing in the community also, which I love the idea, not being as a separate business, the stadium on one side and on the other side the community where the stadium is in there. So yeah, both great. I love it.
Yeah, and like I said, this is kind of, to me, the first of many. And Instacart, I think Avren and I talked about them a while back, but they're pushing more to the POS side of things. So they've opened up their technology to also work in stadiums. I know with Fenway Park for the Boston Red Sox in baseball, and now they're using Instacart technology at their POS. So we're seeing these aggregators kind of play an experiment in the sports segment, but in different ways. Whether it's ordering food or actually handling payment processing. Two very different things, but both of these guys are trying new things. So I think it's super interesting.
Absolutely.
So that's it as far as formal stories that we wanted to cover off for you this week. As I said, we're heading down to Atlanta for RetailLoco, and we're going to be sitting down with a number of the speakers and sponsors, and kind of just getting some of their insights, what they're going to be sharing at the conference, what we might be able to take away and learn from their experiences. So the remainder of the show will be based on that for this week. So you can stay tuned and hear directly from some of them. Thank you very much for your time.
Hello, what's your name?
Carl Goodhue, CTO of BurgerFi.
All right, great. What are you doing here?
I'm actually here on a panel tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to imparting some knowledge, but also learning and listening to everyone who comes before and after me.
All right, great. So what are the biggest challenges you're facing right now in the market?
I would say balancing our delivery service provider costs with first-party delivery and the in-store experience together with all the costs with manning the restaurants and really providing that next level customer experience. It's a lot going on right now.
All right, great. So we're starting an initiative from the LBMA called Best Retail Cases and Best Hospitality Cases. Also restaurants are involved. What's the best practice you saw the last months where you say, okay, that impressed you really here in North America? We say, okay, what was a cool move from my competitor from the market?
Well, I think there's been a lot going on. I always look to Chick-fil-A. They have one of the best drive-through experiences. The other one that really surprised me the other day was McDonald's. I pulled up and they called me by name without scanning anything. They just knew from my phone that I was in line and that I had ordered, and they knew my exact position. So they called me by name and said my order was ready. So that was one of the best experiences at McDonald's. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Stay in touch. Wish you a great conference.
All right. I look forward to it.
Melissa Berger, and I'm with Digitas, which is a global digital agency.
All right. So you're in the retail industry, very active?
Very active. We have clients across all verticals, but retail is a hot topic these days, as you guys know.
All right, great. So what do you expect from the next 2 days of RetailLoco here in Atlanta from the LBMA?
A lot of things. I have very high expectations. So many new products, so much new technology, really trying to understand how we sell better to our clients. So that's one of the reasons I'm here, is to understand what's new on the market and how we can apply it.
All right, so in terms of best retail cases, we're starting this initiative now here in North America. So we list on the platform all those kind of things. Is there anything what impressed you the last months where you say, okay, somebody did a really good job?
Oh, that's a great question. I think there's different ways that people are using location-based data specifically, and there's not just the typical kind of abandoned cart conversations anymore. We're actually thinking about how we use more of a concierge service. So I really think there's just different ways of using existing channels to make them stand out better from a consumer perspective.
All right, great. Thanks for having you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
My name is Hidetoshi Uchiyama, or just call me Toshi, and coming from Japan.
Japan. So you made the whole way here to the LBMA RetailLoco conference in Atlanta. What is the reason therefore? Why are you coming? Why are you attending? What are your expectations?
Okay, let me explain my company.
Yes, please.
First, my company is about the location big data company, and one of the biggest one. We just went to public to the Tokyo Stock Exchange in this July, and we want to expand our business into the United States and Southeast Asia. So that's why I'm coming here, and we want to learn, especially about the recent trend of the retail companies, especially in the US.
All right. So, in terms of, is that the first time you're doing in the US business?
Yes. I got a master's degree in the United States, but in terms of business, this is the first time.
All right. So from your view from Japan, what is so special at the retail industry here in North America?
Okay, here in the Walmart and Kroger's, they are so big and they are very strong. But in Japan, we don't have such kind of retail player. So now in Japan, we are networking a lot of retailers by ourselves. By Unerry and so on. But in here, there are so many strong retailers. We want to learn from them.
All right. Thank you very much. It's great to have you here. Maybe we have tomorrow the chance to talk a bit deeper about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, so that's our show for this week. 2 stories and a bunch of guest interviews from some of the speakers and sponsors at RetailLoco. You've been listening to episode number 592 of Location Weekly. Thanks so much for your time, everybody, and we'll see you next week with another show. Bye.